Fabulous. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to go straight into the presentation, and then hopefully we'll have lots of time for your questions at the end. So let me just grab my presentation. And there we go. All right. So raising your visibility online with video. This is something I have dove into wholeheartedly over the last year. And it's something that we do with all of our clients. Now I've persuaded, cajoled, convinced, tested video, because I run a LinkedIn marketing agency, and video, which you'll see in the presentation, is really becoming a really brilliant way to get visibility on LinkedIn. And I also have become a YouTuber in the last couple of years, and we will talk a little bit about that, but how, let's just get stuck in. Why am I so passionate about people using video online? And it is really simple. When you connect with somebody over video, you are seeing the person. You are building what they call your know, like, and trust factor. People connect. We human beings connect with other human beings. And yes, there's AI and there's automation and there's funnels and all sorts of things out there, all sorts of things that distract us as small business owners. And I don't want that to be, I don't want today to be a distraction for you. If you have a business and you are rocking it on Instagram, then stick with it. Don't think, oh, now I need to do this other thing. Figure out where your audience, ideal clients are, and build your know, like, and trust factor on that platform. But regardless of the platform, I really think getting your face on video helps people to connect with you, and they start to feel like they know you. They will stick around if they like you. And if you show up not often enough, they get to trust you as the person who's going to help them with the thing that they want, whether that is a product or a service. You know, if you are selling wheelbarrows and you're showing up online, showing people how to use their wheelbarrow, how to pick your best wheelbarrow, how to get your wheelbarrow wheel repaired, you're going to be the person they're going to come to when they want to buy their next wheelbarrow, for example. I have no idea why I've used wheelbarrows as my example today. That's just how it goes. So building your know, like, and trust factor by showing up regularly on video. For LinkedIn specifically, LinkedIn have really come out in force in support of video. And LinkedIn Ads blog says that video drives engagement by 5x increase in engagement when you're using video on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn users are 20 times more likely to share content that contains video. So that's really interesting. I find it really fascinating when people start to reshare your post out to their network on LinkedIn. You know, because it's putting you in front of a whole brand new audience, and video is being shared much more than text posts. I also want to make all of this easy for people, and this is it's not a program, but the kind of way we work with people is making things as easy as possible. So we are feeling chilled and we're floating, as opposed to rushing around and trying to do all the things and getting completely overwhelmed. What is the purpose of doing video? Why are you doing video? What is it for? So you can raise awareness of your brand. You can share your expertise. Yes, I'm a service-based business, but you can absolutely do this as well for physical products. Share your expertise and demonstrate your product. You know, how do people use this? Where is the best place for this product in your house? All of this is what you're going to think about when you're doing your video. So our framework is called the COPE framework. And I called it COPE because most people that I speak to are a little bit frightened of video. So I want to give them a tool or a framework that they're like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. This is what I'm going to do. But also, I do love a good acronym. So it stands for Create Once, Publish Everywhere. And that's where the easy breeziness nature of this comes in. Now, It probably is easier if you do have some support to help you with it, because I don't want you spending all your time doing this work. However, create once, publish everywhere. Spot the AI generated image in the presentation. They've got a little bit better at their spelling, but it does have a lead magnet as opposed to a lead magnet. But creating once, publish everywhere. The idea behind this is that you record a video, and it can be as long or short as you want. But say, for example, you do a presentation like this, an hour long or a 45-minute long presentation gives you so much content that you can take and publish everywhere. So for example, when I do a monthly webinar, and if you want to sign up for those, there's a link at the very end. I do a monthly free webinar where I teach people how to use LinkedIn. So one month it might be how to set up your LinkedIn company page. The next month it might be how to optimize your LinkedIn personal profile. And they're very much teaching videos. And yes, at the end, I tell people how they can work with me, because, you know, we're not just giving away our value for free. We're showing people that we know what we're doing, and then we're teaching something, and then people, a percentage of those people will say, that's great, what's the next step? How do we work together? So one webinar each month. And the last one I did, and it doesn't have to be long, the last one I did was like 25 minutes, I think. So I had a slide deck, I showed up online, and I talked about it, and I streamed it onto YouTube. Now you can stream that webinar across your social media platforms and onto YouTube. Then you take the recording of that video and you repurpose it into lots of other things. And I'm going to show you what those things can be. Here's an example of a video. So we use StreamYard for our video streaming. I'm a big fan of it. I know there's been a bit of flack recently because they put up their prices. I don't know when they're going up, but I think they're going up. They're going up quite a lot. However, for me, it's worthwhile because of all the repurposing we do with it. It actually does it all for you. So this would be a 5-minute 47 video on how I go live on LinkedIn with StreamYard. This is a video that I have over on YouTube. And I try and create, with our clients specifically, we create one key piece of video each month. So if you've got a pen and a bit of paper, or if you're someone who's typing while you're watching this, or whatever way you like to record your information, think about, because we're coming up to 2025, so we've got 12 months. So if you could create one video each month for the next year, you've got 12 videos that you can then repurpose across all of your social media, into your newsletter, in so many ways. I'll go through them in a wee minute. And it's easy to come up with 12 ideas. If you cannot think of 12 topics that you can talk about in your business, then this is where AI is your friend. Go to ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you use, and it's your prompt that you feed into it. You say, I am a small business owner. We offer LinkedIn marketing services for companies. We create LinkedIn posts. We create LinkedIn newsletters. We create video for LinkedIn. We help them set up LinkedIn Lives and LinkedIn webinars. This is everything I'm typing into ChatGPT. I need to have 12 core topics for my marketing to this audience. This audience is blah, 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 blah. What 12 topics could I cover? And then you hit enter. So it's not, you don't go to AI and say, what 12 topics can I talk about next year? You're saying, here's who I want to reach. Here's what we sell. Here's the kind of people I'm working with. Here's my services. And what are the 12 topics I can have? Now, if you've been doing business for years, like me, I've been in business 11 years. I know what these key topics are because I listen to my audience. I know what their questions are. Webinars like this are brilliant for me because in the chat afterwards, I go through and see what were all the people's questions about this. And that actually gives me ideas for more videos to create. But think about 12 key topics that you can create for the next year and plan them out in advance. Then you take, if you do an hour's worth of video, and this is what we do with our clients, we will record for 1 hour. And that client turns up that video knowing what I'm going to ask them. Okay. They know the questions I'm going to ask them. I ask them the questions. It's like an interview, almost like a journalistic interview. They answer the questions. And then we take that 1 hour video and we cut it and we slice it and we dice it. Okay. Another AI image there. So what can you create if you have 1 hour of time spent on video? And I'm not saying I'm recording an hour's worth of video content with those clients. We're actually at the end of the hour, we probably have about 15 minutes worth of video content. But you then can take that video and clip it down into short trailers videos. And there are loads of pieces of software will do this for you. My current software of choice is Descript, which is Descript, Descript. Any of these links that you want to these tools I'm using, if you want a list of the tools I use, please just send me a message on LinkedIn afterwards or email me, louise@louisebrogan.com. I'll just send you the list of all the stuff that we use. So we create video clips, not just for LinkedIn. We also put them on Instagram. I may upload them as YouTube shorts. I absolutely put them on my YouTube channel. So there are 4 places. I also then will get the transcript of the video, and Descript will give me the transcript. So the transcript is what I'm saying in the video. So I don't want to be using words that people are like, what does she mean by the transcript? So it's literally, you upload your video into Descript and it creates the transcript, which is everything that I say in that video. I take that transcript and it then becomes a blog on my website. I post the blog on the website and I take the words that I've said, I make them into a blog. I don't just post my transcript. I make them into a blog post. And then I take those video clips and I embed those into my website, because what we really want is to drive, all this effort is to drive people to your actual business. And my actual business, how people sign up to work with me, is through my website. So it makes sense for me to drive everyone to there. So the blog has the actual words, but written in I reformat them into a blog that someone would want to read. I embed the videos into the blog. So if you have the video clips, you set them in each section that it refers to. You can then take the audio from the video and turn it into a podcast, which you then put onto multiple podcast players, including YouTube. YouTube have got a whole thing about doing podcasts now. You take your transcript again, and you transform the transcript into the show notes for the podcast. And all of these platforms work differently. So you can't just plonk your transcript into your podcast show notes. You have to turn them into podcast show notes. Descript will do that for you. When you post the video onto YouTube, you want to write a YouTube show description. That again is different. It's the same topic. If the topic is how to go live on LinkedIn with StreamYard, it's going to be a podcast, a YouTube video, a blog, posts on LinkedIn. None of the facts of how I do go live on LinkedIn with StreamYard change, but the way you present it on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on a podcast, in the text is different for each platform. And you've got to just familiarize yourself with what works on each platform. And yes, it's work, but it really pays off. And you'll see the numbers at the end of the presentation to show you that. You can then turn it into a lead magnet. So take the exact same text. This is why it's 1 hour a month of recording and you get so much out of it. Take the text and turn it into a guide, which you wrap up in a PDF. And I'm sure there's bound to be a presentation in this roadshow on using Canva. Canva we can use for free. Take your text, go into Canva, find a template for a lead magnet or a guide, put your text into that, hire a virtual assistant to help you with this. If you're completely overwhelmed, I apologize. It's just that there's so much you can do with this stuff that I want to try and get it all out to you. You can hire a virtual assistant who will help you to do this because it's their bread and butter. So rather than spending 7 days doing it all, you pay somebody for 2 hours to do it all for you, okay? Or 4 hours or whatever it's going to be. But it's saving you the 7 hours of headaches trying to figure it out. Unless you're like me and you love to figure out things. And then once you know how to do it, it just becomes, commonplace. Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing today. That's my personality. It's not everybody's personality. But take that content and turn it into a free guide. Offer that free guide out to people. And what do you get in exchange for the free guide? You get their email address, which means they go on your newsletter, whether you're using MailChimp or Constant Contact or ConvertKit. And guess what? The newsletter, where does the topics for the newsletter come from? The video. And I embed, every newsletter I send out has a video embedded into it, which is connected to YouTube, which also sends people over to YouTube to watch my YouTube videos. So it all pieces together. And I know that sounds like a lot, but this is recorded and you can watch it back. Right, Louise, that was very overwhelming. How do you do all of this stuff? So apologies, everyone take a breath, Right, let's go back to how we get started with it all. So what is your purpose of creating this video content? Is it to raise awareness of your brand? Is it to sell your book? Is it to get new clients? Is it to sell more products? Have you got a Black Friday sale? What is the purpose of the video you are creating? What is the goal of the video? Is it to get people on your email list, people in the door? Do you want to get a particular number of people watching it? Is it to get, actually, I created a video for a client recently, and I said to my client, what's the purpose of it? What's the goal? What is our end goal for this? And he said to me, there is a specific singular person. I want to watch this. And that's what we're doing it for. And I was like, wow, I've never really had that before. There's literally one person in mind, but that person is a gatekeeper to a lot of business. And that's what it was for. So everyone has different goals, okay? When somebody has watched your video, how do you want them to feel? Are you creating videos to inspire? Do you want them to think, this is the person for me, this is the product for me, this is the service for me? Do you want them to feel like they've learned something? What's the purpose of today's webinar? Today's webinar, the purpose of it is that we want you to go away feeling fired up about and have an understanding of how one piece of video can create so much content for you. That's what I want. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. And if you're new to me and you're like, oh my God, Louise, but how can I not feel overwhelmed? I want to teach this in a way that you think, okay, this is achievable. We can do this. We can do this, I promise. So what do you want people to feel after they watch your video? Oh, all right. What is the primary purpose of the video? Is it to educate people, to inspire people? Is it to sell? That is absolutely fine if it is to sell something. There's so I have a book coming out. It'll be in the new year now, hopefully. Well, it will be in the new year. I don't think it'll be this year. I think it'll be in the new year. And I'm slightly obsessed with watching other people launch books to see best practice and how are they doing it. And there was a book launched in the summer of this year, and the guy went and spoke to lots and lots of people with big audiences, and they did a big webinar and sold the book, I think on a live stream on YouTube. And they sold like literally, I think, hundreds of thousands of books on that video. And I'm not doing that, don't worry. It was like, run to the back of the room and grab your book. There's only 10 left or whatever. I don't know how they did it, but it was phenomenal. Like it made the news in America and stuff. I must dig out that story and share it on LinkedIn with people. But you can also use your video to sell. I mean, we are in business. We are here to sell. So think about then, who's your audience? If you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So who do you want to sell your products to? What are their pain points? What are their concerns? What do they need to know about your product or service before they will put their money in their pocket? Their money in their pocket? Their hand in their pocket? What is it that they need to know about you, about that product, which will lead them to think about working with you or buying from you? So I always think it's not what I want to tell people, It's what people want to know from me. And those are two very different things. Okay. So it's not what you want to tell people, it's what do they want to know from you. And you have to switch yourself around there and think, I know who my ideal client is and my audience. What can I create a video about that helps them? Not what can I focus on today because I feel like talking about that thing. So try and switch it around to be in the shoes of your buyer. And you can send out surveys to your audience and find, if you don't know what this is, send out a survey and say, what do you want to know about this product or service? And people get used to you asking these things as well. So what are the key elements of your video? What is working right now? This is really important. Everything changes, as we all know, regularly. What is working right now? So on LinkedIn, vertical video is working right now, by which I mean this screen on the right-hand side, and I have borrowed this slide from InVideo, which is a video company. The vertical video is working on LinkedIn right now. They are pushing vertical video. They have created a vertical video newsfeed on the mobile app, not on desktop, just on the mobile app. That they are, it's really interesting actually. You now can apply to be in the vertical video feed. So if you have seen this vertical video feed, there is nothing of interest in it to me whatsoever. So I'm not watching it. So that's another thing, is think about your audience and the demographic that you have. And on YouTube, for example, there are people having runaway success with YouTube Shorts. My audience are not interested in YouTube Shorts. My audience on YouTube are people like me sitting at laptops trying to figure out how to do something on LinkedIn. My entire YouTube channel is about how to use LinkedIn for business. And someone is sitting at their desktop and they are not somebody, they're not 18. They are not the vertical video newsfeed folk. They're not on Instagram stories. I mean, they might be for like, following funny dog videos and stuff, but they're not doing their work on Instagram stories. And therefore they are not interested in YouTube Shorts. They might not even know that YouTube Shorts exist. My ideal client has gone to Google, how antiquated, to find out the answer to something. And because Google owns YouTube, my videos show up in the answers and they're clicking on that and they start watching the video and then they go to the next video and the next. And I know that about my audience because I study them. And that's what I create for. So I don't create, I mean, I have some YouTube Shorts, but not a lot, because my audience aren't interested in YouTube Shorts. So what is working right now for you and your target audience, and what is going on the platforms that you use as well? It's really key to keep yourself on top of this stuff so that you're doing what works for you. Start your video with a hook, not a fishing hook. So you got to catch people's attention on your video. And on YouTube, the biggest non-secret I have about being successful on YouTube is I literally just answer people's questions. I don't start. The webinar is very, very different. You come onto this webinar and Emma introduced us and talked a little bit about the tour, and that people expect that. If someone has gone to social media looking for an answer to something and you start introducing yourself and talking about your business, they move on to the next person. So on YouTube, people are looking for the answers to their questions. So I start straight in. Biff, baff, boff, right straight in. If they have looked for how do you update your LinkedIn profile photograph, the video starts with to update your LinkedIn profile photograph. I literally straight in, never introduce myself on the videos. People get to know me and like me and trust me, and then they come and connect with me on LinkedIn because they figure, they see my name at the top of the channel. But I don't ever start a video by saying, hi, I'm Louise Brogan, blah, 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 because they just move on to the next one. So start with, on social media, start with the hook. What are you going to talk about? What's the problem you're going to solve? And get straight in and then start delivering the value that they're looking for. Get to the point. Okay. So the other thing that LinkedIn are recommending alongside vertical video is keeping your videos under 2 minutes long. Okay, so these are key things to think about. For LinkedIn video, go vertical. And if you're using StreamYard like me, you can switch it. It's brilliant, landscape to portrait. Do video, vertical video, and keep it under 2 minutes long, okay? And go big with the captions. Now, this is not advice from LinkedIn. This is my advice because I'm watching what's working and what's taking off, and what's taking off is big captions. So not the small, you know, the idea of closed captions is to be inclusive and for people to be able to keep up with what you're saying, and maybe you have a different accent, or maybe you're speaking a different language, or maybe they have a hearing issue. That's the original use for captions. And as with everything, evolves. Now, putting big captions on your video keeps people's attentions longer. And when you look at the vertical news feed, vertical video feed on LinkedIn, you will notice that they go big with their captions. So another piece of software there is called CapCut. Let's start with what you have. Hopefully you have a phone with a camera on it. That's all you need to get started. You can use Zoom to record videos, but also your camera will record your video for you as well. If you use Zoom, it's capturing, you can capture your screen and walk through everything. This is the equipment that I use. So I have what's called a lapel mic, which plugs on to my, so you have your phone. My phone goes in a little stand. I have a little mini tripod on my desk, which the phone slots into. One key piece of equipment I would recommend everybody invest in if they're going to do video is a microphone. If you record video without a microphone, the audio quality is just not quite good enough. If you get invited onto somebody's podcast, get a microphone. If you don't have a microphone, this Rode mic, lapel mic I have, I can't remember how much it cost, but I've been using it for years. It's this wee tiny bit here. It's a wee tiny piece of equipment. It might be about 50, 60 pounds. I can't remember. But if you have, when you get your mobile phone in the box, do you remember you get the wee earphones that come with it? Those have a microphone attached. So if that's the only microphone you have, use it. It's far better than just trying to record without a microphone. Really, really can't emphasize that enough. Make sure you use a microphone. Oh, there you are. I bought that Rode mic in 2020. It literally says it on screen. So I've had that for 4 years. The microphone I'm using today on the podcast, I've had even longer. So yes, they're investments, but they last a really, really long time. And of course, then there's sales coming up, isn't there? And I'm sure we have a small business in the small business community who sells this stuff. So we don't want to go buying off big websites. We want to support our small businesses. It's got to be something in the small business community who also sells this kind of stuff, I'm sure. All right, then be consistent. This is so key. You can't build a know, like, and trust factor if you only pop up on video. Like if you pop up on video for 21 days in a row and then you don't do any video the rest of the whole year. If you can get yourself into a routine of creating a monthly video that you can chop up into shorter form videos, then you show up on video at least once a week in front of your audience. And that's how people get to know, like, and trust you. This is not a quick, fast turnaround, by the way, guys. This is not like, okay, I'm going to do video. I'm going to do video. I'll do video for the next couple of weeks and then go, oh, didn't work, didn't get any business from it. You've got to be consistent and keep showing up. And if you've heard of a podcaster called Denise Duffield Thomas, she does a podcast called Chill and Prosper. And I love listening to podcasts. I was listening to her today, and she said she's got 100,000 people on her email list. And she said, I just keep showing up. I show up in your inbox every single week. And I know that's why my business is successful, because I just keep showing up. So consistency is really key here. I do like a bit of alliteration, as I said earlier. So think about these 3 C's for your video content. So creating content. So once you have your LinkedIn profile or your YouTube channel up and running, you want to be consistently creating content. You want to create content for your community and build a community around you. When I go live on LinkedIn, the same people pop in and have comments. When I do my monthly webinar, I have regulars who come to that and go into the chat, and I recognize their names and their businesses. So it's really lovely because I get to then, we're building a community together, and that leads to connection. This week I got, there's somebody has signed up for a sales call with me they're in North Carolina. And on their inquiry form, they mentioned a podcaster that I know. She emailed me and said, Louise, I was on your webinar last month. A client was looking for help with LinkedIn, so I've sent him to you. You'll probably see him popping up. And that's what the connection is. I was on that lady's podcast in 2021. She has never paid me for anything. I've never paid her for anything. But we are connected. And because I'm consistently showing up, she decided to sign up for my webinar in October. And now she has sent me somebody who wants trained for their business on how to use LinkedIn. And that's how it works. Consistently showing up, connecting, and building community. You need to know your audience. You need to know who you're talking to, what their issues are, what their worries are around your products and services, what's going on in their business. Empathy is huge in online business. It's not cold behind the screen of a computer. It's connecting with people and thinking about what kind of content can I share with these people. My monthly webinars, I don't care if I get a sale from them or not. I love hosting live training calls. And I know, well, that example I just gave you exactly of that American podcaster, she came to that webinar. So I stayed top of mind with her, and she's now referred business to me. So it's not about the pitch or the sale on the webinar necessarily. It's about people remembering you, showing your expertise. She said she has a client who wants to use LinkedIn. She straight away thought of me because I'm consistently doing this. For us, for YouTube, our videos are how to bypass LinkedIn connection limits, how to study your LinkedIn company page analytics, how to write for LinkedIn, how to create carousel posts for LinkedIn. There are 300 videos on my YouTube channel. So if you think, well, Louise, how can I create content that's just about this one particular thing? I'm creating a weekly video on how to use LinkedIn for business. So sky's the limit, guys. The practicalities of all of this, remember your transcription. So take the transcript, use it as the format for your blog. Don't post it as your blog. Then when you've got your blog, if you're not a writer, and I am a writer, like I love to write, you can get help with this. There are lots and lots of fabulous copywriters out there. But then you've got your transcript and you look at it and you're like, okay, I spoke for 10 minutes there, and I have this whole transcript. Now I'm going to take key pieces out of it and create them as posts. So the video content doesn't just spit out more videos. It creates posts. It creates for Instagram, it creates a graphic with a quote on it from you. Or if you did a video on the top 10 tips on using LinkedIn for business, there are 10 graphics you can use on Instagram, right? And use it as your newsletter as well. My approach to social media, and I include YouTube with this, has always been, how can I help people to use this platform called LinkedIn? How can I help people to build their business online? So become a resource to people. And I get so many comments on my videos on YouTube saying, thank you so much. I've been searching for the answer to this. And that just makes me so happy. So 300 videos over. Now, I've been doing it a long time. It's just consistent. But what fascinates me about YouTube is a video could have been posted 4 years ago and might just get a trickle of views. And then people start looking, more people start looking and finding that video. And suddenly it just blows up and you're getting hundreds of views or thousands of views. I have a video that's a year old. It's my most popular video right now. And it's how to upload your resume to LinkedIn. It's got 100,000 views. But it didn't start out that way. You know, the first week it might have had 25 views, and you're like, oh, well, let's see how that video goes. It's now got 100,000 views. And those videos are all about the basics of LinkedIn. One other thing I've always stuck to is I'm always myself on video. When you meet me in person, I'm the exact same person I am on screen. I don't have a persona for my videos. And that might mean that my videos maybe aren't as polished and fancy as other people's videos. But as I say, my ethos is show up, help people, deliver value, and the business comes. So be yourself. Everybody else is taken. I'm also terrible at jokes. So I said, do YouTube. Sorry. It'd be really interesting. Everyone who is in the chat, post and say, have you got a YouTube channel? Or have you got a YouTube channel? Or are you thinking about having a YouTube channel? I would really like to see where you are standing with this at the minute. Because I am telling you, if you have not got a YouTube channel yet, put it on your list for 2025. It's just going to get bigger. It's such a resource for people who want to figure things out. And AI doesn't touch it. I don't think, because humans, we want to hear the answers from other humans. And video is the strongest way to do that because it's literally you on screen. But also it's more than that. It's if you create video content for YouTube, I think it's the cornerstone piece of content that you can do so much more with. And if you, I don't know about you, but with accountability, if I know I have a YouTube channel, I'm committing to this. And this is what Denise Duffield Thomas talked about as well. She says, I show up for my newsletter every single week. If you know you've got a YouTube channel and the only way to build that channel is by showing up and putting videos on it, you will start to create the video. And when you are regularly creating a piece of content each week, now you have got something that you can create once, publish everywhere. It just makes everything else so much easier. It's just about carving out time to do this stuff as well. So this is my channel. It's called Raise Your Visibility Online. It used to be called LinkedIn with Louise, and LinkedIn don't like it when you use their name at the start of something. So my book is going to be called Raise Your Visibility on LinkedIn, and that's fine. It couldn't be LinkedIn with, well, it couldn't be LinkedIn with Louise because you can't start your business or your website or your book with their name because it's their trademark. So it's now called Raise Your Visibility Online, which actually means I can do other stuff with it as well. It's not just about YouTube. So we passed the 100,000 subscriber mark just literally this week, which I am just beyond delighted with. But how do you do that? Step by step by step by step. There's a song on my running playlist, and it starts out with one foot after the other or something. She says, I can't remember what it is, by Sia. Just put one foot in front of the other. That's how you build something. And I can't believe I've got 100,000 subscribers. I was on a podcast last week and the interviewer said, Louise, I remember when you were trying to get to your first 1,000. And in May of this year, I hit 10,000 and now I'm at 100,000. So it's a hockey stick curve. It's an exponential curve. It doesn't go in a straight line. If I can hit 100,000 subscribers, anybody can. Honestly, go and look at my videos. They are not polished. They're just teaching people the answers to the things they're asking. That is literally what I'm doing. All the rules, social media rules do apply. Learn what works on each platform. What is the best practice for YouTube? What is the best practice for LinkedIn? No matter where you are, reply to all your comments. My channel's got bigger and I've 2.5 million views. I passed that on Saturday, which is just insane and amazing. So I've started to get not very many, maybe 4 or 5 negative comments in the whole channel in the years that I've had it, which is amazing. But somebody wrote last week, is this a scam video? My comments, I was like, what? And so I replied to that. I said, what do you mean? Like, what, how could it be a scam? I don't even know what you mean. But yeah, reply to all your comments on your social media, on your channels, because that shows the algorithm that you're active and also gets you out in front of more people. Measure your results. My YouTube channel took off because I started to understand what people liked. They don't like long-winded introductions and waffle. And I know in a webinar, I am from Belfast and we can talk a lot. But a webinar is a very different beast. On a YouTube video, I just get straight to the point. And you can see in the results, like I love data. You go and look at the data and work out what's working, what's landing, what do people want to know more about, where are they coming from as well. You can see all of this stuff in your data. And be consistent. Stay focused. I don't have a presence on TikTok. I created an account because I went to a conference, someone spoke about it. I thought, oh, I should be on TikTok. I shouldn't be on TikTok. I've deleted Twitter. I did open a Blue Sky account, but that's because I like chatting with people, not because for business. So my focus is YouTube and LinkedIn. That's it. So don't be distracted by vanity metrics. Create content for your ideal client. What is working for you and your business? And the simple fact is creating once, publish everywhere. If you're doing the video for other platforms, you may as well put it on YouTube because it is another way for you to be found by your ideal client. Why would you not? That's my question. If you would like, my book when it comes out, I've started a waiting list for it to let people know, and there's going to be, because I can't help myself, it's not just a book. I'm going to take bits of the book and create things out of them. I'm going to create PDFs. I'm going to create a workbook. I'm going to create mini guides. I'm going to create free training videos, because that's just who I am. So if you'd like to see all that stuff and get access to it, then please, you're very welcome to join my waitlist. It's louisebrogan.com/waitlist. And the YouTube channel is youtube.com/@Raise Your Visibility Online. And I am ready for my questions now, Doctor.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Louise. That was such an amazing session, and big congratulations on hitting 100,000 subscribers.
It's exciting.
Like, you've got so much love in the chat. It's such a milestone. So yeah. We have got quite a few questions, so I'll dive straight in. First question is, should you use lighting for your videos?
Lighting. Yes. So I don't want people to go out and spend loads of money on things. Literally, microphone is the key thing.
Okay.
However, I do have lighting. The best lighting you can have is the light coming in your window. So if you can position yourself that you're sitting in front of your window, so there's your window and your camera, that is the very best lighting you can have. I do have, because I've invested over the years, I do have big lights, but I actually love this little light. Ooh. I love this light. It's really cute. But also you're supposed to plonk it kind of on either side of your desk. It's not crazy expensive. But I have the big ones, like if you go to a conference and you're like, ooh, they're taking photographs over there, those big lights. But that took me ages to get. Like, the natural light from your window is the best thing. The one thing, if you're going to invest in anything, invest in a tripod and a microphone.
Cool. Fab. Thank you. Can you use Zoom interviews to record any videos?
Yes, of course you can. Yes. I did all my videos initially on Zoom. So you just they still do, I don't know if they still do free Zoom. Just open Zoom and share your screen and talk over whatever it is you're doing, or just talk into the camera. Yes. Now, when we do with clients, so what's the word? I'm facilitating videos for my clients. And on Zoom, you can just turn your camera off. So what I do here with this is, if you were my client, Emma, I would ask you the question and then I would turn my camera off. So it's just you on the screen. So the video is just recording you speaking. I'm nowhere in sight. And then when you finish, I come back on screen and say, hey, that was great. And what about this? And let's do this bit next. So it's kind of like hand-holding support. and encouragement, which actually I think makes it much easier for people. It's not, people aren't hiring us because we're taking the video away and doing all the editing and chopping and all that stuff. It's because they are nervous about video and they just want to show up and have someone help them. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Do you use any video editing software?
Yes, I do. So I use, are we ready for this? If you get StreamYard paid account, and I don't actually know the price of it, but if you have StreamYard, it will create short video clips for you. I take our videos and put them in Descript. So Descript.ai, I think is the proper thing. And it will, you can edit it by editing the text in there. Then I also use Premiere Rush, which is another piece of software. So like guys, I've been doing this for a while, so this is not beginner level. Once I've edited out the words in Descript, I then take the video and then I put it into Premiere Rush, and that's where I put in like the sliding screen that comes in with the big text. If you go and watch some of my more recent videos, you'll understand what I mean. And then I upload it onto YouTube. If I sometimes use YouTube's own editing software as well. I have used Instagram stories for getting the big captions on as well. And my team also use CapCut for some videos. So that's a lot of different tools.
Lots of options there.
Yeah.
How old is your YouTube account or channel?
Oh, so I did a big post about this on LinkedIn, which you're very welcome to go and join in the conversation. It's actually far older than I thought. So there's a whole big story about this, but we can't really go into it today, but it's from 2013. Oh, wow. And if you look at the metrics, it's like a flat line until 2020. So in the pandemic, I was in a little group of 5 in a mastermind, and 2 of the guys in there were YouTubers, and they said, Louise, you should do videos about LinkedIn on YouTube. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, we're kind of all locked down at home. Like, my kids are doing all their schoolwork on their laptops all around the house. Why not give it a go? So I started doing videos in the pandemic in 2020. And I think by about 2021, I started to get a bit of traction with it, and I started to get clients. And I thought, oh, let's pay a bit of attention to this. So that's, yeah. And I was on Facebook saying to my family and friends, please, please, please subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. And they're like, okay, then. I'd say, just watch them through. You don't have to listen to them because they don't care about LinkedIn. Yeah. So everyone starts somewhere. But yeah, so it's from 2013, but I didn't do anything with it till 2020.
Got you. Okay, cool. Well, that's amazing, going from 2020 to almost 2025 for 100,000 subscribers. Yeah.
Apparently it's 0.1% of channels get that, which I found out on Friday.
Oh,
I know.
Some of my videos are 8 to 10 minutes long and aren't suitable for cropping. Is it better to do a much shorter video or to use a podcast instead? Oh,
I would need to know what that person's business was and what they were doing. So the one video a month that we do with clients is a longer bit we create it specifically to chop. It is deliberately created to chop into bits. My YouTube videos are all very, very short. They're like, because I'm just answering one question, really. They are 2 to 3 minutes long, if that. Like the video about how to delete your company page on LinkedIn is not even 1 minute long, because it's really, it's not that difficult to answer. But you can still, I'm sure I would take an 8-minute video. I would be able to chop that up into shorter video clips. And this is where software actually will help you. So if you use something like Castmagic or Descript and say, create clips from this, it will create what they call highlight reels. And you can say, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can use that. And I do that and put those on Instagram, those shorter clips.
Fabulous. Right, lots more questions coming in. Whenever I scroll through LinkedIn, it seems that everyone is doing video and often they don't have the best subtitles. How can I get my videos to stand out?
Ooh, this is a something I could talk about for half a day. I talk about having the 4 key pillars to approaching LinkedIn. Number 1 is, have you got your profile properly optimized? So people, when they look at it, they know who you are, what you do, how you can help them. Are you creating content that speaks to your ideal client and answering their questions? Is your network on LinkedIn the network that you want? In other words, don't just connect with anybody and everybody. If you are connected to people who want to know about what it is you're talking about, you will get the engagement. It is far better to have a small network of people who are interested in what you're doing and you're interested in them than it is to build a giant network who don't really care what you're talking about. And then the 4th thing is, you've got to build community. There's no point in you posting videos on LinkedIn once a week if you are not connecting with other people, commenting on their content and having conversations, you know. So it's 4 pillars, yeah. Profile, content, community, and network. 4 things, yeah, that all work in conjunction together.
Great. There's another question which is about, kind of links in with that quite nicely. They say they don't have subscribers or a mailing list. How can they understand their audience and connect with them and find out, you know, what videos they might be interested in, what they're not interested in?
Okay, well, number 1, start your mailing list today. If you have not got any mailing list, start it today, because if the social media platforms go down or they kick you off, then you've just lost your entire network. So whereas you own your email list, you build an email list that people subscribe to, and you can always contact them. Please, please, please start that today. I'm sure there's free software to do that on. I think ConvertKit will give you free up to a certain number of people. But if you don't have that, you can do polls online. But you can also go to research it. You can go to, this is a funny wee thing. If you go to Amazon and look for books about the area that you work in, go and look at the comments under the book, and you will see what people liked about it. What were their key takeaways, or what questions do they ask? So stalk your competitors and the questions they're getting, and those are the questions that you start answering.
It's a great hack that. I love that. Have you tried Krisp, the virtual microphone? If so, what are your thoughts?
I have not. And I am queen of not letting myself get distracted, so I'm not even going to Google it.
Fair enough. I definitely will be doing it. When you say that you study your audience, how exactly do you do this?
Oh, data. So I have a master's in IT. I'm secretly a complete geek, and I like analytics and data. So I look at it. I know that 50% of my audience on YouTube are from India, right? I know that 1/3 of my audience are between the ages of 25 and 45. I know that the people who comment, I know what the comments are, what they're doing. I look at the analytics on my LinkedIn posts. I know the seniority level of the people who engage with my content. Measure, 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 measure. It's all there. You just got to go and look for it.
Where do you promote your YouTube channel?
Oh, well, I create ones and I publish it everywhere. Didn't I say?
Yeah.
So I'll put the video on YouTube. Then I will, on a Sunday, and I didn't do it yesterday. I had a visitor this weekend, so I didn't get my Sunday email out, or my newsletter out. But I usually will do a newsletter on LinkedIn every Sunday, and I'll embed the video into that. I embed the video into my newsletter on ConvertKit. I'm not very good at publicizing it on Instagram, and I need to get that sorted out. But really, this is not how YouTube works. It's not, people don't go to YouTube because you've shared it somewhere else. People go to YouTube because that video answers a question for them. And that's more data that I know. 95% of the people who view my videos on YouTube have never watched anything else I've ever done.
So
95%.
More as like a search engine, then hopefully,
yes,
you know, that
it is answers to questions. If you want to build a presence on YouTube, you have to think, you have to answer people's questions. And a percentage of those people, it's all numbers, a percentage of those people will be interested enough to connect with me on LinkedIn. A percentage of those people will be interested enough to sign up for my newsletter, and a percentage of those people will be interested enough to want to work with me. So so you need the volume to get that, because it shrinks down as you go through each piece.
Next question is about AI and content creation. If you use AI to create content, do you own this content?
I don't think you should use AI to create your content. I think you should use AI as a research tool to help you figure out what content to create. Now, I love playing around with the images, and 2 of the images in my slides were by AI. I don't really consider them my images. The images that I own are the ones that my team create. So I would not use AI to create content, is my answer. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but I genuinely think people prefer to read and watch and listen to content that is created by humans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. I have a European accent and I worry this would hinder me when promoting via video. Even though I do agree it is an important tool for marketing. Do you have any insight or thoughts into this?
Oh yes. This is a soapbox that I'd be quite happy to die on. I had a very rude American man who told me that my channel would do much better if I could possibly speak BBC English, because
Oh,
my accent was obviously from Ireland, possibly the north, and it was holding me back.
oh, really? Was it really holding you back? Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
So own your lovely European accent. We love Europeans. We want to hear your accents. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
And also, you go onto YouTube, 95% of what I hear is American accents, and I'm a bit bored of hearing that. So if you're
Yes.
like me, you don't want to hear different things. Right.
Like, did anyone leave the webinar because my voice is from Belfast? I don't think so. Hopefully not.
Someone's saying that they're here because they love your accent. So,
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely.
right. Do you recommend Descript over Otter AI?
Actually, yeah, I do. I haven't touched Otter any. I used to use Otter all the time. And it might have changed. In fact, I'm sure it has more functionality now. I literally haven't used it in this year. I don't even know how I got started on Descript, but I really like it. It's a tool I like using.
Is there a quick way to find out what questions people are looking to answer on YouTube?
There are actually ways to do this. So there's little tools called vidIQ and TubeBuddy, and they give you suggested questions. And YouTube itself will give you suggested questions, which I find interesting, because it knows who your audience are. Once you're up and running, it knows who your audience are. But the easiest way to do this is go to Google. So if your business is, let's say, beard care, you sell oil for beards, go to Google and type in a question and just start typing, but do it slowly. Don't write the whole question. Start typing slowly and you'll get suggested questions show up in the box underneath Google. And those are the questions that people are asking. So, and do that for everything. Do that for LinkedIn. So if I go and type in how to space LinkedIn, it literally starts to show you the questions people are asking. How to find a job on LinkedIn, how to, so there's ways of doing that. There's also ask the public. There's loads of resources out there that will help you come up with questions. But social listening is really key. What are people actually asking you is what you should be answering questions on. What do people want to know about your business and how you help people?
That is an excellent note to end things on. We have come to the end now. I'm so sorry. Has absolutely flown by. Thank you so much, Louise. That was absolutely fabulous. And I'm sure everybody will be leaving today with lots of ideas on how they can leverage video content and hopefully start on their YouTube journey if they haven't already.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much for BT for supporting the tour again. Don't forget that we're here Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. And if you join us for 10 sessions, we will send a Christmas gift your way. That is all from me. Any final words, Louise, before we say goodbye?
Well, I've just saved the chat because I want to see what everyone's saying, but also come and connect with me on LinkedIn and say hi and tell me you were here today because I just love talking to people.
Fabulous. I love it. And we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.